everyone. I hope you all had a wonderful week. Welcome to another episode of InfoScope. I'm your host, Hannah Kim. It's once again time for the latest from the IT and science world. Let's take a look at what we have coming up in the first part of our show. We will begin with news about North Korea. In September, North Korea conducted its 5th nuclear test, and some experts believe that North Korea might have tested a boosted fissile weapon. We'll have more on this in just a moment. But in other news, earlier this year, hundreds of patients were afflicted by the Zika virus in many parts of the world. And now, recent experiments have shown that the virus was present in the eyes of some of these patients. Can the Zika virus spread through tears? Take a look at this next video for more information. Here's Briefing Scope. A team of U.S. researchers has confirmed through experiments that the Zika virus can attack the eyes. This means that in theory, it's possible that the virus spreads through tears, and researchers intend to find out how the virus reaches the eyes. North Korea has already conducted 2 nuclear tests this year, and experts believe that it may have tested a boosted fission weapon, the middle stage between an atomic bomb and a hydrogen bomb. They also believe that North Korea has made significant advances in the development of hydrogen bombs. Enamel is the hardest substance our body creates, and it protects the surface of our teeth. Until now, how enamel was produced was a mystery, and other means were needed to replace it if lost. Now, scientists have uncovered the exact composition and structure of enamel, raising hopes for new dental treatments. Now, on a different note, establishing research centers and pursuing research experiments require a lot of financial investment and, of course, time. However, the Korean government has recently announced that it will develop a new technology based on regional needs while handing them over to regional small and medium-sized enterprises. We'll have more on this collaboration and how it may potentially boost local economies. But first, let's shift our focus a little bit. How fast can a person run? Usain Bolt, the fastest man on Earth, can reach a speed of up to 45 kilometers per hour. However, scientists now believe that in the future, people will be capable of running at 60 kilometers per hour under the right conditions. We have more on this next on Industry Inside.
Sprinter Usain Bolt holds the world record for the 100-meter dash at 9.58 seconds, a record that no one has broken since it was set in 2009. Up to that point, it took an average of 3 years to break the world record by 0.01 seconds, but Bolt managed to speed up by 0.16 seconds in 2 years. Given his accomplishments, scientists are asking whether anyone will be able to overtake Bolt in the future. A U.S. team of researchers used a simulator to estimate how fast a person can run. After analyzing the motions of athletes, they found that the most important factor in sprinting is the force imposed on the ground by the foot. With the optimal muscular mass to maximize this force, a person will be capable of running at speeds of 60 kilometers per hour. That is a significant development from Bolt's best record of 45 kilometers per hour. Experts believe that breaking Bolt's record is a matter of time, given how training and exercise equipment are always improving.
세계 기록은 사람이 살아 존재할 때는 계속 나올 것이다. 훈련 방법들도 과학화될 것이고 또 맞춤 운동을 통해서 개개인의 최적화된 트레이닝 프로그램들 동원될 것이고.
As training programs become more systemized, the next Usain Bolt may surprise us in the near future. Gyeongsang-Bukdo Province is looking for a way to eliminate algae from the Nakdong-gang River, which suffers from algal blooms every summer. Jeollanam-do Province is home to 65% of Korea's islands and requires help in building bridges and maintaining safety measures. Construction makes up a major part of regional economies nationwide, and different skills are needed. However, there is a shortage of experts capable of meeting these demands.
우리 지방 기술로 상당히 어려움을 겪고 있는 녹조입니다. 녹조. 해마다 그런 고민을 하고 있는데.
The government-run Korea Institute of Civil Engineering and Building Technology has come up with a solution. With Gyeongsang-Bukdo Province, the institute will look into ways of developing carbon compounds and reducing noise levels between floors and algae in the Nakdonggang River. As for Jeollanam-do Province, it will work on developing eco-friendly steel construction materials, hybrid solar energy systems, and monitoring systems for bridges connecting islands.
건설기술 특허를 지방자치단체와 공유하는 것으로 합의를 하게 됩니다. 지방경제 활성화에 촉매제가
New technologies will be handed over to local SMEs. Some 1,000 construction-related patents will be provided free of charge. This initiative is expected to close the technological gap between companies, boost local economies, and create more jobs.
중요한 것은 지방자치단체들이 노력하는 것과 서울에서의 또 경기도에서의 저희 인재들이 서로 힘을 합쳐서 지방 발전을 서로 돕자.
The government-run research institutes can now be shared among local governments, saving the time and money that would go into establishing a regional research center. Korea had a record hot summer this year, and the aquaculture industry estimated losses to be worth almost $9 million as the rise in water temperature killed fish en masse.
이어지는 폭염에 한반도 주변 바닷물 온도가 26년 만에 최고로 올라가면서 양식장 물고기가 계속 죽어나가고 있습니다.
Korean researchers have found a way to significantly reduce the number of deaths. The technique involves using green LEDs to improve the health of the fish. The researchers filled 2 tanks with flatfish and shined a standard fluorescent lamp above one tank, while covering the other tank with green LED. The water temperature was set to 30 degrees Celsius, but the flatfish exposed to green LED were in relatively good condition. Oxygen radical levels in the fluorescent tank were high enough to reduce activity. However, the levels in the green LED tank were 29% lower. The lipoperoxide levels were lower in the green LED tank as well.
활성산소와 과산화지질 수치가 대폭적으로 낮아졌음을 확인할 수 있었습니다. 체내에서 유해물질로 작용을 해서 세포의 구조와 DNA 등을 손상시키게 됩니다.
The researchers believe that this can be applied to actual fish farms to reduce mass deaths in various situations.
수온 변화뿐만 아니라 다양한 환경 오염에 노출된 어종에서도 동일한 결과를 얻을 수 있을 것으로 생각이 됩니다.
The researchers will now work toward making this applicable, not only in indoor farms, but also open water farms.
Well, this year's heat waves definitely had some negative consequences. I do hope that the affected industries overcome their losses quickly. Now, moving on to our next segment. In the past, robots with cameras were brought into areas that are inaccessible by people, like the site of the Fukushima nuclear disaster. But did you know that these robots may now be able to present a 3-dimensional picture? That should be quite interesting and probably very helpful. But before this story, we also have some medical news. Diabetics must use insulin pens on a regular basis, which is both inconvenient and painful. But now researchers have come up with a form of insulin you can consume. Here are some more details on this and more coming up on Tech a Peek.
Diabetes is a condition where the body cannot process insulin properly. Consequently, diabetics must regularly take insulin, always through injection, as there isn't a way of taking insulin orally.
인슐린 주사는 2012년도부터 맞았으니까요. 한 4년 정도 맞았고요. 매일매일 이제 피부에 직접 주사를 놔야 되니까 좀 아프기도 하고요. 그다음에 그거에 따른 스트레스가 좀 있었던 것 같습니다.
특히나 인슐린과 같은 성분은 이 위산에 매우 취약하기 때문에 특수한 보호장치 혹은 특수한 성분으로 코팅이 돼 있지 않으면 저희가 원하는 만큼을 원하는 시간에 공급하기가 어렵습니다.
Now, researchers from the US-based Niagara University have come up with a way of administering insulin orally. The team inserted insulin into a lipid-based particle called cholestosome and found that its lipids can protect the insulin from stomach acid.
They're not recognized by the body as something different than I think in the industry term, they're generally regarded as safe. Once the vesicles are packaged, since they're neutral, they don't interact with any charged environment. And so the acid in the stomach has no effect on them.
Once the cholestosome is absorbed into the bloodstream, it breaks down and releases insulin. The researchers confirmed the results in experiments with mice and plan to conduct additional tests before conducting human trials. Inside the first unit of the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant, debris lies everywhere, and the pool of water vaporizes into steam. A robot was deployed for the first time here since the disaster in 2011. Robots deployed in disaster zones are usually controlled remotely. Regardless of the control, however, the camera lens fixed in one direction cannot show the entire scene. Now, Korean researchers have developed a technology that overcomes this hurdle. It works by gathering information with a laser sensor and combining it with the data registered by the camera to create a three-dimensional image. When a robot approaches an obstacle, the camera is unable to capture the scene around it or measure the distance between the robot and the obstacle. But with the new technology, the locations of the robot and the obstacle can be evaluated from different angles. Moreover, controllers can use a virtual reality device to explore the site themselves instead of relying merely on displays.
3차원 정보를 가지고 있기 때문에 조종자가 원하는 시점으로 마음대로 그 시점을 옮길 수가 있습니다. 그렇게 하면서 그 조종하기 가장 편한 시점에다가 그 가상 카메라를 놓고 조종할 수 있는 그런 장점이 있습니다.
The researchers aim to add AI to the robot so that it can move autonomously in its 3D environment. These robots will play a bigger role in entering inaccessible, hazardous zones and investigating the site thoroughly and saving lives. This is the Daegu subway fire of 2003, which killed some 190 passengers. 13 years have passed since then, but survivors still suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD. Most of them cannot ride subways, or are severely affected when they encounter flames or smoke. Korean researchers have opened the way to a new treatment for PTSD. The amygdala plays a key role in controlling fear in PTSD. An observation of the brains of 30 survivors for 5 years showed that there were changes in the connection between the amygdala and its surrounding brain tissue. For example, after a traumatic experience, the amygdala builds a strong connection with the part of the brain that deals with pain. But as time passes, there is a strong connection with the part that suppresses anxiety.
해마나 서명 이런 부위랑의 연결성 부위가 그 역동적이고 시기적으로 변하는 걸 보고 그런 신경 연결성에 대한 조절을 통해서 치료를 할 수가 있습니다.
Depending on the stage of a patient's recovery, specific connections in the brain can be stimulated to speed up recovery. Furthermore, this may lead to a new treatment for patients who do not respond positively to cognitive or medication-based treatments.
If this treatment option is successful for PTSD patients, I'm sure it'll be a stepping stone forward for those recovering from the Daegu subway fire and, of course, many other PTSD patients around the world. Now, this marks the end of today's show. Remember that we will be back again next week with other interesting stories from IT and science. Thank you for joining us and see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.